Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review on this Friday night of news of Tonali is basically all done. All we're waiting for now is the official announcement from Newcastle United to say, bosh, he is now a Newcastle United player, which is fabulous news. Rumours continue to spread around the media outlets that Szoboszlai is the next one that Eddie Howe wants through the door. Other news sources are reporting that we've got no money left, that there's going to be no more new signings, which I think, if out of all the stories, that is the biggest bullshitting one going at the minute. But listen, it's all about the media and sort of Sky Sports reporting that we've got no money and FFP and all of this. Nobody knows what the club's budget is. We've said this a million times. We have no idea. And the only people that do know are the people inside the club. Alex, you got a little bit of a smirk on your face.
I mean, right. First of all, we do respect Sky Sports. Obviously, we've had Keith Downey on the channel before. So Paul just likes swinging things around because it's funny. But in Paul's defense, he's not wrong. We've had articles from The Athletic and several places stating we're looking for this position, this position, this position, this position, this position. But we've spent our entire budget on one player. Mm-hmm. So which is it?
Well, exactly. I
mean, it doesn't quite, you know, we know that there are certain local journalists like Craig Hope and Luke Edwards who like the club, who are quite happy to play the game of we're not going to disclose the entirety because, you know, it's for a reason. But with Sky Sports, it's a bit different. As a national, you know, Keith Downey owes nothing to us. You know, he's from Scotland. So it's a funny one, but we'll see. I don't think the budget's ever been a specific number. I think it's always been a living, breathing thing, depending on player outgoings, who's available, whether something can be done this year, next year, sponsorships. It's not a set number for a reason. Well,
I think we've always said all along the line, haven't we, that the hierarchy at Newcastle will go for the players they feel that will need to strengthen next season. And you know, everybody else can just wonder who it is.
It's not even that. It's a point of there might be a particular player or position that they want to do maybe next season, but suddenly this magical player becomes available at a price, and they might buy him a season early. I think I think this is entirely possible. It's not a set budget for a reason.
Guys, usual tonight, if you do enjoy tonight's show, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Vitally important to the channel. And of course, if you're new and like what you see, please subscribe, free to do so, and also hit that bell, which will let you know when we go live or upload any future videos. You can also donate to the channel if you do so wish by hitting that $ right at the bottom of the live comments. And also, you can become a member. The join button is just underneath the show as well. Click that and you can become a member, which of course supports the channel and basically you'll be in for all sorts of prizes. If you do super chat, of course, you get your comment read out straight away, as we have just had one from George Longstaff, $4.99 super chat. He says, all right, lads, proper enjoyed the watch along last night. I ended up muting the commentary and listening to your banter instead. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, George. Much appreciated. I think the three of us thoroughly enjoyed it. Jack's camera is, as you can see, he's back, he's working. And a bit of a new Swish haircut there, Jack. I'm seeing a little bit of a suave sort of part in there. It looks a lot better, mate. You look a bit older.
Well, thank you. I don't know whether I should take that as a compliment or not, but
it's a compliment, mate. Trust me. It's a compliment. Hey, look, I've got none. Right, I can't comment on haircuts. Me and Billy, that's happened a long time ago for us. So you know,
needs cutting. That's what he's doing. He's cutting on Sunday.
It's suave, mate. Let's go with suave.
We've also had
yes, absolutely, yeah. £5 super chat from Jay Devlin. Congrats to the ladies. Every day, good news comes out of this club. It takes away the pain I'm feeling due to long-term illness. So thankful. Thank you, Jay, and keep battling. Fantastic news about the ladies' team today, Billy. Going full time, and I think this just signals what their plans are. What the owners' plans are for this football club, because they're still in the third tier of women's football, and there is no team in that league anywhere near full time.
No, it's all about all being under the one umbrella, whether it be the kids' teams, the women's teams, the first team. It's Newcastle United Football Club. No differences now. And it's how it should have been all along. Mr. Ashton put our name to the ladies' team when he was in the ownership of the club. So, yeah, let's all be united as one and all pissing in the same pot. It's fantastic to see.
Awesome news, yeah. $9.99 super chat from Ian A. Thank you very much, Ian. Very kind. Will you do a transfer update for the women's team when they bring some people in? Yeah, that is one of the main focuses of the Toon Review going forward. We will focus a lot more on the women's team as well. I'm going to try and attend a lot more women's games this season. It is important because, they are part of the NUFC umbrella. And I think it's very important that we as a channel, as we grow, we're going to start covering more things, and the ladies' team is definitely something that we are going to start covering in much more detail. They deserve that, they really do deserve it. They're a great bunch, and Becky's done a wonderful job there as manager, and hopefully as the new season progresses, we'll bring you more on the ladies' team as well, which will be great. Michael says, evening all, looking forward to seeing if there's any targets at left back mentioned. Not really sure who we might go for in that position.
Well, you've tuned into the right show, my friend.
Well, there you go. I think who's the one at AC Milan? Is that Fernandez?
Theo Hernandez.
I'm going to keep
Theo
it.
Hernandez.
Theo Hernandez. Yeah, but can I just say,
now.
There's a picture come out today of him on a boat with his girlfriend, and I think he's very much enjoying his summer holidays. I don't know whether you guys have seen that photo, but it's...
I haven't, but most of them enjoy it. That picture last year of Joe Linton in the middle of the Maldives or wherever it was.
Indeed.
Very jealous.
Jan's getting very excited with the prospective midfield. Tonali, Bruno, Joe Linton and Szoboszlai will be immense. Bring it on. Hopefully, Szoboszlai is getting mentioned a lot. That isn't going away. Now, one thing I do want to touch on just before we, let's have a look at this first. That's obviously photoshopped in the Newcastle kit because, the official pictures will come out. But that looks good, Jack.
Well, black and white suits him. Let's be honest.
Black
and white really does suit him.
Yeah.
You can very, very well tell it's a Photoshop background because of the 1920 season Fabian Schär top in the background. But
yeah, well, I think it's a Photoshop of him in the Toon top. To be honest, I don't think we've had any official photos yet, but that's what it will look like.
Who cares about the background?
Absolutely.
He's there. He's in a Newcastle shirt.
Bruno's got a white forearm tattoo, and they've tried to amend it.
Yeah, it is.
Just looks lovely.
Now,
looks bloody lovely.
Bloody lovely. Yeah, it's absolutely bloody great.
It's Tonali.
Aye, Tonali. Right, Jack. One thing I do want to pick from a sort of young perspective, a young supporter's perspective. If this is going to be it, what do you think of the away kit?
I saw it this morning. I've not made my mind up yet. I'm gonna have a bit more of a last season. Like when I saw last season's away kit, I didn't make my mind up until really it was actually announced. But yeah, I'm not too sure in it. I'm not too sure.
See, I quite like it. I have to admit, I quite like it.
I'm
Billy.
50-50.
It looks like Steve Wonder's been appointed as kit designer of Hull City. It's horrific.
Really?
Oh, it's horrific. And it's terrific. Really
I quite like it. Me, Alex, what's your thoughts on it?
I'm
not saying this is it. By the way, this is just something.
I like bits of it, and I don't like other bits of it. I didn't like the last season's away shirt initially, and then when I was about to drive up to come and see the Forest game, the first game of the season, I was loving it. I thought it was great. So I don't know, but I'm not keen on the sleeves being all black with an orange band. I think it looks a bit too sharp of a color change, and it does look like somebody sort of dropped orange paint in sort of a little bit. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't want to say anything too strong in case it is the real shirt. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't know. That's just one I've seen online today. And look, if it is, I have to say I quite like that design. But, it's going to be, again, not everybody's going to like it. It's going to be people's different tastes at the end of the day. I mean, look, the green one, what could be our third kit, that came out a few days ago, and I'm not that keen on that. I think the pattern on it is very straight. I mean, Jack, we haven't got your opinion on that one yet. I mean, what did you think of the green one?
I totally agree with what Alex said. You shouldn't play in green kits. It's just, I mean, when I saw one Man United match last season when they played in green, I could hardly see him. And a lot of people said that.
It's disgusting. It should be illegal.
I do see a big problem. I think you mentioned it actually, Alex, with the sort of the green pitches and sort of playing in that kind of top would.
Do you guys remember Renato Sanchez when he went on loan to Swansea? And
I remember. I remember when that happened. Yeah.
Times that by 10. That is what happens when you play green shirts over the course of a season. It's stupid. Don't play green shirts.
Yeah. Good evening, Rachel. Vincent says, I hope we get Theo Hernandez. Tierney's knee injury problems are a reason why I think we're moving on from him. Yeah, I've got a little quiet on Kieran Tierney. Ian Fleming, good evening. Andrew says, Sky Sports talk utter turd. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. Not all the time they don't. I mean, whenever they broke the news on the takeover brilliantly. I thought Sky News's coverage of the takeover was fabulous. And
they were quite poor discussing Tonali the other night, though.
Yeah, but really poor today. We're talking about Declan Rice. We're talking about Man City are in the advanced talks, and one bloke piped up. There might be a third runner in it. Man United. They're not even linked with him or anything.
They're not linked at all.
Just had to mention Man United.
Yeah. When they were talking about Tonali, they were talking about Newcastle fans. If you're interested, they're playing in the under-21s tournament against Romania. No, mate, it's in Romania. They're not playing against Romania. They played against France. And this was a Sky Sports, literal anchor delivering. Get it right. If you're getting paid 60-odd grand a year to sit on Sky Sports.
I mean, what I do think is they need a bit of an overhaul on Sky Sports, especially the news. I think they need an overhaul. I know they do sort of overhauls every now and again. I think they need a big one this time, with Jeff Stelling, etc. going. And I think it's been basically the same for so long now, the same music, and they need to change it around a bit, different maybe graphics on the screen, put us in front of the camera. We'll do it.
They do tend to bring they do tend to bring some football YouTubers on sometimes on transfer shows and that.
Rory Jennings, for example.
Yeah, but the wrong ones.
Rory
Jennings is the biggest. He is like what I wash down the toilet on a morning. I mean, it's not great looking. It's terrible. And
the one who said Haaland would flop
would flop. Yeah. He's very rarely got anything decent to say about the Toon. But they do bring on. You're right, Jack. Though they do bring on some good ones. I know
James
they've had.
I think he's brought on once. They've brought on a few times.
Yeah, they've had. A couple from Newcastle Fans TV on, and massive shout out to them, by the way. They've hit 100,000 followers on YouTube. Sorry, not YouTube, on Facebook. So I messaged late to say well done. He messaged back, so well done, buddy, and keep up the good work. Arturo, thank you very much for your €10. Alfonso Davies would be a massive signing. He's not even linked, though. That's the thing. He's never been mentioned at all for Newcastle United. I mean, we've mentioned him numerous times on the channel.
So much. He would cost the same as Tonali, if not more.
Yeah, he would. Adam says, I'm a huge Milan fan. It's really heartbreaking for me and the community, and our new owner feels like Mike Ashley. However, Newcastle have always been my favourite team in the Premier League since I was a child. Well, thank you, Adam. You're one of the few Milan fans that I've actually had the pleasure of reading out a positive comment about Newcastle. A lot of them seem to state that it's some slum somewhere and they don't have any decent food or anywhere decent to live and things like that. From a lot of Milan fans who've probably never been to Newcastle. So that still amazes me, some of the comments that I've read. Well, look who's back. Francisco, guess who's back again? Hello, boys. Chat and Modge. Much love and many blessings to you all. Miss you lots. Great times for our team. Go Toon. Great to see you in the chat, Francisco. Drop me an email, buddy. Let me know how you're getting on, will you? It's been a long time since we've had a chat, so drop us an email, bud. Roger says, what's your thoughts on Sky Sports News Germany, Alex?
I mean, I don't really have any thoughts. Look, I always hold any sort of Sky Sports reporting on a higher standard than the generic paper talk, because they typically and traditionally have not committed to something until there's a bit more substance to it, rumor wise. Whether whether it's they've got a good source. So I think it's always fair to trust Sky to a level, not completely, but it's more of a sure thing if it's gone to Sky. Obviously, but Sky reported Barella. But you've got to remember nowadays, I think there's a lot of, because of social media and flight radar, people can go and take pictures of, there was people taking pictures of Dan Ashworth in Milan, of the agents and the directors having a meeting and a coffee. You can't hide nowadays. It's 20 years ago you could get away with it, not now. And I've forgotten my thread. I've lost my point now. Just going on about that. Yeah, you can trust them to a point, but it's so difficult. So they've potentially been fed information about something like the Barella transfer that from a reputable source, but maybe that was a smokescreen from our side. Like, it's impossible to tell. Maybe we've pretended to go for Barella to speed along Maddison, Szoboszlai. We put some Tonali feelers out.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Billy, because Michael says here, I don't think we'll sign anyone currently being rumoured. They're all smoke screens and we'll go after other players. We've kind of done that, Billy, so far, haven't we?
Yeah, we've kind of been linked with different Italian
the
players.
One was interesting, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was. We went for his cohort, Tonali, who's, by the way, an absolute splendid player. I can't praise him high enough what we saw last night. Just everything we need. And the player, very much like Bruno, and lots of his qualities. Does it all. Last night was just typified Sandro Tonali performance. Yeah, and people don't know. I mean, this is the whole thing why we laugh at ITKs. Nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly. Jack, have you seen the interview from the chairman?
I have. I've seen about. Yeah, I have.
Very positive, wasn't it? And obviously, Jay there saying a quote from, "We have the ambition and aspiration to be number one." I mean, it's plain and easy, Jack, that he's got a sort of tunnel vision as to where he sees this football club going.
Well, like we've always said, the Saudi Arabians don't like to come second. They always want to be first. And it's clear that these owners have aspirations to be at the top. And they're going the right way about it. Yeah. Because the recruitment, the signing, the people, not just the players, the staff they're bringing in, the Dan Ashworths of this world, the youth academies, they're doing everything the right way. Not taking it fast, because there's consequences if you take stuff that fast. But I'm surprised it's gone this fast, but it's the way they've been running the club, and that's the way. That's why we're in Champions League. That's why we've been in cup finals. That's why everyone's jealous of us, because we're just a perfectly run club, and we haven't been spending money, because we're just that well run of a club. And I totally agree with him. We have real aspirations to be at the top, and we will be there one day.
Yep, definitely. Pilo Keith, good evening. He says, I've been working in Munchen Gladbach all week, and the taxi driver taking me to the airport knows Thuram. He promised to put a good word in for us. Jesus. Barth says, Adam P does a mint job on the lasses. Yes, he does. He covers he goes home and away when he can. What's that look for, Billy?
Adam P does a mint job on the lasses.
He's a ladies' man.
Yous are shocking, honestly. I mean, Billy, you can get a dirty comment out of any sentence written. Unbelievable.
Blake, I guarantee he's made them walk down the stairs the same way he walks out of the club shop. I guarantee that's been role played.
Yeah,
I like to hold my own, Paul. You know that.
That's yes, Billy, indeed. Blakey says Sky need to make the bloody mind up. They've just been reporting that we are after 2 or 3 more players in different positions, but we are at our FFP limit. Yeah, I mean, it changes all the time. It really does. James says our defence is ageing. Would love Hincapi, the centre back from Atalanta, left back from Inter, Chiesa, and a young striker. Chiesa's been linked a lot today, by the way. I don't know whether you guys have seen that, but there is a lot of links to Chiesa.
Yeah, he's on the show tonight.
Okay, let's move
As is the Inter Milan.
Okay. Well,
literally, we've covered. You've already hit. Actually, we've already talked about every single player that I'm covering tonight.
Right. Well, let's have the first player up. Over 1,000 watching already, guys. Thank you so much. Please do hit that like button, and if you're new, please do subscribe. Of course, you can donate by hitting that $sign underneath the live comments. That will enable you also not only donating to the channel, but getting your comment read out straight away. And you can become a member of the Toon Review, which will put you in for some prizes, etc., as well as supporting the channel by hitting that join button just underneath the four of us. Right. First player it's Theo Hernandez.
Theo Hernandez. Yes. Very French name. Not. I mean, he's not French, is he? I'm pretty sure he's Spanish, but he's French. Apparently he's French. So it's been a little bit funny. We were linked with a certain level of left back recently. We've sort of been linked with players from the Premier League in left back positions. We've been linked with sort of your Kieran Tierney's we've mentioned tonight, your Cucureya's, different things like that. And then all of a sudden, as soon as Mr. Ashworth's gone off to bloody Milan, we've just been linked with £60 million rated left backs. It's gone insane. It's just everybody's lost the plot. It's gone mental, which is great because it means we get to review them. I never thought I'd get to review this kind of caliber of left back.
Exactly.
I didn't think we'd be in for him.
Yeah.
However, outrageous signing. Outrageous if we were to get somebody of this quality. Played in a Champions League semi-final. Lifted the Serie A title the season before Napoli won it. Was part of the Real Madrid squad the last time they won the Champions League, I'm pretty sure. Actually, if I scroll across, it shows me his trophies. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Champions League champion. So he's got a Scudetto and a Champions League. He is about to turn 26. He is in the peak of his powers, athleticism, experience. He's won everything that he could really win to a point. I don't think he's got a La Liga, but he's a left-footed fullback. He's 6 foot, so he's not a tiny left back. He ticks the box of physicality that we want. He's playing in a very competent Milan team. He's also a goal threat as a fullback. I will scroll down in a minute and look at his career statistics, but we're going to upgrade. Well, I'm not saying we're going to sign him. If we were to go for somebody like this guy, we'd suddenly be going from pretty much 1 goal a season. Because what's Dan Burn? We love Dan Burn, but he does not give us anything offensively. Whereas if we were to have a player like this, all of a sudden we're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10 goal involvements additionally added to our squad from a left back, which we just don't get right now. So 4 goals and 3 assists this season kind of backs up what I'm saying for this season. 7 goal contributions, and he deserves it from 4.1 XG and 3.3 expected assists. He's played a lot of minutes, 27, nearly 2,800 minutes, 11 appearances in the Champions League, of course, because they got all the way through to the semi-finals. Let's scroll down and have a look at the meat. So rather good. Rather good. Very offensive looking left back. Extremely high volume of progressive carries. Very good at taking the ball up the pitch. He's sort of average at successful take-ons. High volume of touches in the attacking penalty area for a fullback, touching it twice. So we have occasionally seen a bit more of Stephen Merchant on the wing towards the latter end of the season when
Alex, will you stop being so bloody harsh on him, will you? I never thought we were going to hear you say that again now.
But when Dan Burn does an overlap, it just reminds me of Stephen Merchant running. It just does. So this guy takes 2 touches inside the box every game. Progressive passes.
Just pause to say good evening to Mother Stano, who's out in Menorca on holiday at the moment. Hope you're having a very good time and enjoy it, Jeanette. Carry on.
I'm very jealous. Progressive passes is extremely high for a fullback as well, actually, in the 66th percentile. So there's a lot of ball progression coming here from left back. So when we factor this in, by the way, with Tonali, let's all of a sudden start thinking about this in our heads. Right. The ball progression we got from Longstaff and Byrne, all of a sudden upgraded to Tonali and then this left back. It is infinitely better. All of a sudden, Callum Wilson, Isak, whoever's further up the pitch is getting bucket loads more service and chances. It is just a frightening prospect, considering how how much of a battering ram we were in certain games last year, that it could get significantly better is scary good. This guy's shot creating actions 80th percentile. Shots total for a fullback, he's taking a shot and a half per game, every single game, 1.48 shots per 90. He's an elite level fullback. He's playing for a club that got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. He's won a Scudetto. I don't know what else to tell you. He's very, very good. Linked, so statistical matches, you've got Chilwell, you've got Estepinian on there, Di Lorenzo, who's obviously won it with Napoli, the Scudetto, Michel Bakker, who we've been linked with previously. And this is something we've talked about a lot on these specific transfer shows, is the club will use data to sort of profile players, whether it's technical, physical abilities, positional play. They will sort of cluster players together in a sort of profile that they're looking for. So the fact that Michel Bakker has been a lot of lists for us previously, is a very positive thing. I'm a little bit confused why Timothy Ray is on there, to be fair.
Yeah, me. I was just looking at that.
Does he play as a left back? What's going on there? I'm confused. Is he always been a left back, or am I just misremembering that? Zappacosta, of course, was at Chelsea once upon a time, but other players were just better. Even got Reece James on this list as a fullback. This is the benefit of FBref. It doesn't just look at left backs; it looks at fullbacks, which is really, really helpful. And then let's go and have a look at some lovely career statistics. Now, talk about experience for a guy that's not even 26 yet. Outrageous amount of experience. So let's look at, so from when he hit 20 years old, he's gone 22 starts, and then he's never dropped under 30 starts for his club. It's just, he's got so much experience. He's completed a lot of full seasons, playing most of the minutes. Never finished below 6th in Serie A. Obviously, 3rd in La Liga with 10 starts, 13 appearances. That was the season they got the Champions League. He was very young at 19 years old and has had stints in other clubs, for other clubs around Spain. Although 30 appearances for Alaves as an 18-year-old. So he's been around for a long time. And if you look at the goals and assists, look at what he's been doing in Italy. 9, 12, 10, 7. Compared to Dan Burns' solitary 1 at the moment in the Premier League. So if we could get anywhere near this, sort of from left back, oh my God, like the difference. Funnily enough, on his sofa score, it's saying he's got error proneness. I've not seen that when I've seen him play. Again, I've seen Milan probably 3 or 4 times this year, so not a huge amount. And I don't think I've watched them at all in Serie A. I think I've only watched Milan in the Champions League. So my opinion is somewhat limited on what, can only go so far on it. But I've not seen him make any mistakes. Maybe he has. The statistics definitely don't show that. So let's have a look. France versus Greece. Again, we're well aware that to get anywhere near this France team, you've got to be rather good. So, that's not a bad team there. Upamecano next to him, of course, has been questioned a little bit with his Champions League performances. That is a rather busy heat map, shall we say. It's basically the left side of the pitch belongs to him. He might as well spray paint his name onto it. It is his. In terms of output, so defensive output, not too much because presumably France just kept the ball the entire match. 2 clearances. Physical output, again, is really, really nice and high. Winning his aerial duels, of course, he's 6 foot, which is great. 2 fouls. He drew 2 free kicks, though. Absolutely outrageous amount of touches for a fullback. Again, Kieran Trippier levels of involvement as a fullback. 108 touches, 94, 75 passes from a fullback is just ridiculous. Absolutely freakish. Absolutely freakish. It is Greece, but even so, we're gonna make it even more silly now by having a look at his statistics against Gibraltar, which I guess is a little bit unfair. But we'll have a look at a Serie A game in a second. His 8.4 here, again. If I can scroll down the right way. All of the opposition left side is basically just his again. 2 clearances, and so there's a much higher level of defensive output in this game, despite the fact it's Gibraltar. So they're obviously going for it. He won 100% of his duels, 4 ground, 2 aerial. Again, oh dear Lord, I'd not actually seen this before we started the show. That's insane. It is Gibraltar, so you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. We would do the same with the England squad as well. But he is a fullback that is utilised because he's very, very competent, technically sound. You know, athleticism, solid, tall, could play in the sort of way that Byrne's been doing, but offer us considerably more. However, he's probably going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
98,000 euros a week, contracted until 2026, apparently. So we could theoretically go up. I don't know. We could increase that by a bit. 30, 40, 50, 60,000 pounds. I don't know how high we would be willing to go up. I'm not sure. So we could increase it. And then obviously up this, we could offer him a contract until kind of when's Tonali's rumoured contract? Until 29. We could hypothetically do the same. But he's going to be really expensive. So probably not.
Yeah, just before we get the guy's thoughts on him, the Mighty Win says everybody loves Dan Burn, but they all want to replace him. Why? If we replace him with a more progressive player, do we not worsen the best defence in the Premier League? Surely strengthen the attack. Well, one thing I would say to that is Dan Burn, for me, is not a Champions League quality left back. I'm sorry if that upsets people, Dan Burn fans, but I have to be honest. I love Dan Burn, and I think he's done a wonderful job for us. But we are looking to take the club to the next level. Is Dan Burn the next level? No.
Dan Burn will definitely be a squad player next season without any sort of a doubt, whether it's centre half or left back.
And he'll still play a huge part in the team. He'll get plenty of games next season. But you know, if we to take the club to the next level, we've got to be looking at players like Theo Hernandez and things like that. I mean, Billy, what's your thoughts on him?
Well, he's a world-class left back, isn't he? You think of him, you think of Mendy at Real Madrid, Alphonso Davies. They're the three best left backs in the world, as far as I can see. We get one of them, God blimey, the world's our oyster. But like Alex says, you're looking at lots and lots of spondoolies for him.
Yep, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely class. I've always liked Theo Hernandez. Just for his pace and his defending, his attacking, he's just an all-round quality, world-class left back. He's got everything you'd want in a left back. I think if we get Theo Hernandez, the left winger who Theo Hernandez is going to be supporting, will be will feel like they're in VIP. Whether it's Maxi or Chiesa, it doesn't matter. Whoever's playing left wing that day is going to feel like they're in VIP with Theo Hernandez overlapping with him and helping. Well,
Maxi and Fernandez is quite Hernandez. Sorry, is very, very mouthwatering for me. And maybe that would be the player that could take Maxi up that level.
And maybe AC Milan may get another call from Newcastle. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean they're hating us at the moment. I mean they really are. Yeah. I mean, if we go in and take Hernandez as well, my goodness me. I Like Coffee says, if Alex was a player agent, he would get loads of deals done with clubs immediately because I love the way he presents the players with their stats.
I wouldn't be able to choose. You know, if anybody's ever bought a kitten or a dog and you go there and you've got to choose among the 7 or 8 little fluffy animals and you just stand there and go, I've got no idea how I'm supposed to choose. That's how I would be as an agent. It wouldn't work.
Night and Knee Gaming says, I wonder what Eddie told Tonali he could improve about him to get him to sign. I don't necessarily, it's stuff about improving him, although he will. I mean, guys, I know I love sound effects on these shows, but who's got the birds?
Somebody's got really loud doves in the background.
You ain't in Coventry after soon.
Them Yorkshire doves be very loud.
It's me. I've got one. I've literally got. I'm not joking. My back garden. I've got a light that shines on the patio. There's a light. A dove is nesting on top of that light.
Wow. What, you're feeding them up there? Yorkshire pudding?
Oh,
it's Tavery. It's Tavery.
Yeah. Tom says, Alex throwing shade on Big Dan Burn. Hernandez isn't from Blythe, though, is he?
Actually,
David says, I think the Italians we are linked with, apart from Tonali, are faint, and we are going after a Hungarian captain. Well,
Marseille,
maybe.
Alex, Marseille. He's from Marseille, the French version of Blythe, if you like.
Oh, is he born in Marseille, is he?
He's born in Marseille, yeah.
We'll get him a song.
Yeah. Steven says, the chairman interviews a proper hairs on the back of the neck stand-up stuff. His NUFC lined suit was absolutely class. Yeah, well, he had that on. He had that on for the final home game of the season, of course, when he came on the pitch.
Hilarious.
Sorry,
his name is Theo Bernard Francois Hernandez. So
There's
it's
always a
like
Francois in there
it's
somewhere,
just
isn't there?
it's a culture
Yeah.
clash there.
Scott says Maxi is old news with all this new talent. He will never get a game. He may get a board game. Oh dear. Yeah.
Not going to bite.
Don't reel him in, guys. Come on. He's been in such a good mood with all these new big names possibly signing. Let's just keep it that way, guys.
Max will thrive.
Says,
I think Max will thrive with all these new players coming.
I do as well, actually. I'm
Imagine
a little
the service
confused.
from Hernandez and Tonali.
Indeed.
Pinging progressive passes up to Maxi in space, and then Isak's running in beyond him, Willock's running in beyond him.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Geordie Waster says, I'm a little confused with all the strength we have in the middle. Why are we not looking for 2 defence and an attack option, not midfield? There's plenty of time left, though. There is plenty of time.
Do you not remember the back end of the season when we had like half a midfielder fit?
That was awful.
We need midfielders.
Yeah,
like we lost Shelvey and didn't replace him.
Ian Fleming, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, just like to say well done to the Newcastle United wheelchair football team for reaching their cup final and hope they bring it home. Absolutely. Fabulous news. Andrew Freeman, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Thanks for the support, buddy. And Alistair McGregor, thank you for your £5 super chat. It says, Paul, do me a favour and get my carer to sign up with Howie Buller sign up.
Bueller used to be a racehorse many moons ago.
All right,
very good one as well.
And Frau Alex wants to know, who is the most reliable transfer agency or person that you trust the most?
I mean, agent is in what represent players or people that give us news as the public?
I would say that meant give us sort of news, or who would you trust if they were to break some news?
I'd probably say Romano.
Yeah.
I know people don't like him because of the João Pedro incident, but he had it on very good authority that was done because he's got friends within Watford.
Yeah.
We know that.
And it's one player out of many that he covers. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'd probably say Romano.
Yeah,
just being safe. Although to be fair, recently he tends to break news a lot later because he doesn't want to sort of tarnish his reputation. He wants to make sure he won't post things until he's 100% sure. But you maybe don't hear about a player until a little bit further along. But you know he's got a reputation to uphold. So
indeed. Andrew says, hey lads, we're in the big time now. How class is it all talking about all our high class transfer targets? I mean, Jack, obviously this is very, very new to you, being a young Newcastle fan, because we remember the entertainers and stuff and the big names that came in then. But how, as a younger fan, does it seem sort of going from where we were the last couple of years to now with all these absolute mammoth names being mentioned?
It's a breath of fresh air, and I didn't really plan seeing this, really. It was always, look, it's a pleasure to be a Newcastle United fan. Pleasure. But when watching the squad a few years ago, did I see this coming? No. But I'm so glad it's happened now. And then talking with the likes of Teo Hernandez, Tonali, Chiesa, Jesus Christ, it's just
him as well.
Fresh air.
I mean, if we got Jesus Christ, that would be incredible.
He's never very good on crosses, though, is he?
Oh, Billy.
But yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And it's just where the club is now. And we're heading in the right direction.
Oh, no.
I mean, Billy, just remember that, the Italians, it's a very, very Catholic faith. And,
that's his best one.
Jesus not good. Jesus not good on crosses. I mean, good evening, Italia. I hope you're well out there in the beautiful cities across your wonderful country. I can only apologise for Billy Bob, but sometimes there is no words. You just go.
We've got
with
a Milan fan in the chat.
Yes,
we're not just defending countries anymore. We've extended it to offending the papacy.
Well,
why
the hell not? We may as well. I mean, good evening to the Pope. Anyway, Jay Devlin says ASM is a first-team starter this coming season. Sorry to break it to some. I Like Coffee says, oh man, Alex's presentation on Theo made me want him at the Toon, and towards the end he said he's too expensive. I sort of felt like a child at the toy store, but my parents saying it's too expensive.
I mean, he's not too expensive. I just don't think because we're putting that money, we're spending that. We spent that on Isak, we're spending that on Tonali. I just don't think we're going to drop that much on a left back right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because FFP, unfortunately, is a thing. Yeah. We can't go too crazy.
Evening, Tony. Hope you're well, bud. Hi, Paul, Billy, Alex, and Jack. Hope you're all well. Go and subscribe to Tony's channel. It's all Black and White TV. He's got some great shows on there. And he's a very big supporter of this channel, promotes us on Twitter, etc. So please go and give him a follow. Have a look at his channel. He's very new to it. He's developing all the time, and he's grown. So good on you, Tony. And go and give him a shout out, guys, and a check. He's got a great channel there. He's a good lad. Cameron says, you nailed that joke, Billy. Oh, Christ. Oh, shit. I've just... Oh, Christ.
Oh, God.
It's getting worse, man.
No.
Leave it. Leave it.
It's a good Friday today, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's brilliant. You have to write these down.
I meant Tonali signing, of course.
Of course you did, Billy, yeah. Jesus Christ.
That's
Oh,
him.
my God. Yes, it is. I keep saying that. Why? Ashley, he says, hi, guys. It's good to see the players we get are players that their fans are unhappy to lose. That's a very good point as well, because signings in the past, we've seen fans say, oh, yeah, thank God he's gone. Now we're seeing fans crying because they've left.
They've been raging. On my lunch break, I listened to so there's two American lads that do an AC Milan podcast. I think they've got Italian names. I think they've got Italian ancestry. They've got posters of Shevchenko and Kaká on the wall. They're very clearly very into it. And it was like a half an hour podcast on them just whinging about the board and why have we let him go? This is an outrage. They're not happy at all. They are furious about it.
Yeah, they are really furious. Sean says, thank goodness Billy wasn't doing the negotiations. I don't think Billy's going to become Pope anytime soon either. Jordy Waster says, remember, we need, ideally, we need 2 fully functional squads now. We're in the Champions League and we have spares in midfield. But who is spare in defence or attack to give the first team a break? Well,
we don't have spares in right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is twice now. Right. Let's address this. So the starting trio pre Tonali is Bruno, Longstaff, Joe Linton. Yeah, and then you've got Willock. So that's your 4. That's it. Those are the 4 for the season. 3 positions, 4 players. And then we bring in Tonali, that's 5. We still need another player, ideally. And let's not forget that Joe Linton and Willock have been pushed onto the left wing. Not really, No, that's not how that works. We're playing 2 8s in an extremely high energy system that are going to need to play 60 fixtures next season. That's not how that works. Like Tonali coming in kind of replaces the Shelvey departure. We were still a man short prior to that. Unless you want to draft Jeff Hendrick in, then be my guest. Sorry, please. That midfield, that's twice guys, the midfield comment. Now.
We're getting some seriously bad religious jokes now, and it's all Billy Trey's fault. Reese says, why didn't Jesus walk on water after his resurrection? It's a hell of a lot harder to do with holes in your feet.
No, of course.
Exactly.
Sacrilege.
Until Everton get done, FFP has no credibility. Well, I believe it's October that their hearing is going to be taking place, which I find staggering that it's still so many months away. I'm sure I read it was October. I might be wrong, but
they'll postpone it. If Everton have a bad start of the season again, they'll postpone it for another year. They're waiting for them to have a good start of the season so they can afford to take the points loss. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, probably. Absolutely. I'm really trying to avoid.
Mate, this is going to be much longer than an hour show. We've done 1 player.
Just chill. People are enjoying it. We've got over 1,100 people watching, joining us on a Friday night. It's incredible. Subscribe if you're new, guys.
Come in next.
Thank you very much.
Stand up.
Yeah, I mean, Billy could do a stand-up show, couldn't he, on here one day? Scott says, as a Welsh Toon fan for 20 years, it never fails to make me laugh when the public see me in my Toon top and call me a glory supporter. If only they knew the trip we've had to watch in the past. Exactly.
Is this Paul Dummett in disguise?
It's a great name for Welshman too, to be fair.
Scott Billy! Alex, let's move on to the next player rather sharpishly, please. And that is Federico Di Marco. Another Italian.
So you're not going to recognise him. Anybody who watched the Champions League final, he was in that. He just didn't look like this. Since that photo was taken, he's aged 10 years and dyed his hair blonde, and it looks like he's been in the Terminator. So I'll show you what I mean. This is his FB ref photo. this is him now. It's not the same person at all. Like, I don't know what's gone on there.
Wow.
He's definitely been through some rough times, shall we say. So it is the same. If you're confused, it is the same guy with the blonde hair in the Champions League final that you watched. He's just got a really funny picture on this website. So Federico Di Marco, I think, had a really, really good game in the Champions League final. I've watched Inter quite a lot. I did have the Inter versus AC Milan game on as well. I think we were live at that time. I think most of Inter that I've watched this season has literally been on while we've been live in the background. So the same sort of thing here. Left-footed, left-back, peak age, 25, nearly 26, from an Italian team, got through to the Champions League final and not semi-final, one step further than AC got. Lower wages, same amount of goal contributions. Which way have I got a point? It's funny because it's mirrored that way. 7 goal contributions this season. The same as what Theo Hernandez got. Funny that. Difference is 5'8.5", 5'9". So he's not the 6-foot beast that Theo Hernandez is. So he's not maybe not got the aerial dual capability that Hernandez has got. However, wages are a little bit cheaper apparently, 56,000 euros, whatever. I'm not sure what that is in real biscuits. Let's hover over because it should convert it for me. Weekly is £48,000. There we go, £49,000. It even gives you an annual. That's very cool. So we could double that, no problem. However, is contracted for another 3 seasons, so it would be some sizable cheese to get him out of Inter Milan, unfortunately. But they do need to maybe, they need to do something about their strikers because Lukaku's going away. He's only on loan there, and Edin Dzeko is 64 years old. So they're going to need to sort of restructure that squad a little bit. They put all their eggs in the same basket for this Champions League final. Didn't quite work. If they get a reasonable offer for certain parts of that squad, I think they will take them. Obviously, they didn't with Barella because Barella, fair enough, is worth a lot more than 50 million. So let's go down and have a look at the important statistics. So offensive output here is quite ridiculous. He's not offering quite as much in the general data as Hernandez was, but still above average for progressive carries, above average for progressive passes, which is really nice, attempting a good amount of passes as well. But his just general offensive data is through the roof. 4.25 shot creating actions per 90 is incredible in the 98th percentile. So this is frighteningly high. So the 2 offensive actions directly leading to a shot. So passes, take on, strong fouls. So he's providing 4 shots for teammates by doing things like ball progression in this way, whether it's carrying or passing. It's very, very impressive. He's taking 2 shots per game as a fullback, which is in the 99th percentile. That is ludicrously high for a defender with 2 shots. And then there's no surprise here that he's high on goals and assists because there's just so much. I mean, you could argue he's probably shouldn't be a fullback. He's a bit of a tank. And I wouldn't let the height off put you because for anybody who did watch the Champions League final, he put himself about. He was quite a physical monster, in my opinion. I think these statistics here do him a little bit dirty. From what I've seen of him, I think he looks fine physically. There could be reasons for that tactically, shape, instructions, role. I don't know. I'd have to do more of a deep dive. If it looks at any point like we may sign this guy, I'll go and have a deeper look at why. So who's he profiling like? You've got some nice little left backs on here. Jordi Alba.
I'd love one of you to try and pronounce that first name at number 10.
Przemysław Frankowski.
Oh, look at you.
He's Polish. I know him.
Well, there you go. Bollocks. I was hoping somebody else might have piped up first rather than you.
Obviously, it's always going to be me who pipes up first, let's be honest.
Yes, I know.
So Carrasco as well, who's been on some of our lists before. It's okay, I guess. Kostic is a very good player. It is what it is. We'll see. It profiles very differently to Hernandez in my eyes.
Left backs are Alex as such. They're more. A lot of them are kind of left forwards, if you like. Some of them, Kostic is a forward, isn't he?
Well, I mean, I did say he doesn't seem to profile like a left back.
Yeah, it's a wing back, isn't he? Really?
I guess. So career. Again, huge career in Italy to date, despite the fact he's just about going into his peak now. He did a random season in Switzerland, which is quite interesting. But apart from that, he stayed in Italy. He's been everywhere. Inter, Ascoli, Empoli, Parma, back to Inter, Hellas Verona, back to Inter. So the last 2 seasons, he's been a mainstay for Inter. 32 appearances, little bit odd there for especially a fullback going. Well, he can play centre half as well. 32 appearances, but only 13 starts, which is he got subbed in or out a lot for a defensive player. Although you could argue he's more of an offensive player, but contributed 5 goal contributions here. He got 8 for Hellas Verona in the season before as well from 29 starts, 7. So in the last 3 seasons, he's definitely picked up speed in his contributions. This is something again that we'd really, really appreciate in our squad if we've got a fullback other than Trippier that can suddenly bang in and help 6, 7, 8, 9 goals in a season. That will definitely elevate us to the next level.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's more what he looks like now. It definitely looks like he's been through some. He's completely
What
different
the
man.
hell?
It's weird,
He's
isn't
got
it?
3 different bloody profile pictures here, man.
It's a different man
Who
entirely.
is this man?
Well, who knows? Oh, free
Mr.
kicks.
Scout.
I didn't realise he took free kicks. There we go. So it's something, again, I told you I need to do some more research. They think he plays midfield / centre half. So let's have a look at some big games. Why don't we have a look at the big game, which is Man City Inter. So Champions League final. We have, there he is as a left midfielder / left wing back. All I can hear is Jack giggling in the background.
It's that back below you. That's why. It's Trey. Just carry on, Alex. You carry on, please.
So looks like he took a certain sided corner specifically for what? Why is he doing that? Because he wants in swingers. So he's a left-footed. So he's taking in swinging corners specifically. Very crazy heat map on this left side here. Very offensive, as we can see. 3 successful crosses, 2 successful long balls, a couple of shots, which rings true with his statistics. He got a key pass in there as well. Nice and tidy with his passing. This isn't the Champions League final that they lost, may I add. He was one of the ones that hit the woodwork, 2 big chances, half of his ground duels. Again, this is against Manchester City in a Champions League final, against the best team in the world. He's done rather well. 4 tackles and interception, a few fouls, but managed to draw a few himself. I think he put in a cracking performance and can be proud of his performance in the Champions League final. I don't think he was the reason they lost. I think he was very, very good. And then let's go and have a look at his most recent game for Italy. So they beat the Netherlands. We'll go down and have a look in a back 4 this time behind Verratti. So he can play in a back 4. This is for a different team as well. So a much more varied heat map here. Taking up a lot more positions. Again, taking the in-swinging corner from that side only. He's managed some decent defensive output here with a clearance block shot, 3 tackles. He got his goal from fullback. We know he takes a couple of shots per game. 5 ground duels out of 8. Very, very competent physically there, which it does seem like his 5'9" isn't really an issue to me. You can see he's very physical. He tried 5 crosses, unfortunately didn't find anybody's head. 2 long balls, very, very tidy passing again against a tidy Netherlands side again. So these 2 games that I've shown you are against Man City and the Netherlands. So the fact that this is against the best of the best, I think he's profiling excellently. I think he's a top player. I think he's really, really expensive. 9 caps for Italy with 1 goal. Presumably that's his goal that he got the other day. So well done, Mr. Federico.
And let's be honest here. I mean, the guy completely changes form every game. You know, he looks nobody's going to be able to mark him. Danielle's in the house, guys. So good evening to Danielle. Hope you're well, chick. Nice to join us in the chat again. She does watch every show, but she's in the chat tonight. Angelica's back at it. Steaks sizzling while listening in. Thought that. Colin says, Billy, you're a funny man. Absolutely on form. I don't know what he's eating tonight before he's come on here, but Jesus Christ. Smashed it up the Toon 5-0. Says that looks mint if it's the new away top. A lot of different angles. What do you make of DeMarco then, Billy?
He's a fantastic offensive player. Defensively, I'm not so sure about him. Alex did say he played in the back 4 there, but he did have the Paris Saint-Germain player in front of him, can't think of his name now, Verratti,
Yeah.
who's an excellent defensive midfielder. Yeah, I'm not sure he fits into our system as good as Hernandez does, but I think it'd be a little bit cheaper. But offensively, he's magnificent. Even for Italy against England, he was their best attacking force. Hell of an offensive player. I do have a bit of a doubt about him defensively, I must admit.
Okay. Jack?
Depends which one we're talking about. Which DeMarco we're talking about.
Well, I mean, we've seen 3 different DeMarcos tonight, so it could be any one of them.
Pepe.
I'll take a pick. Yeah, I kind of agree with Billy. He's a good player, but defensively, I'm not too sure. But I still rather Teo Hernandez over DeMarco. But I'm not saying he's a bad player because I take him.
Defensively, you're not too sure.
Well, Billy said the same.
Saka took him to the cleaners in the Italian game, didn't he, to be fair?
I mean, Saka takes most people to the cleaners.
I don't know. I think we didn't take Dan Burn to it. Let's be fair on that.
But I think Dan Burn was set up specifically to, he wasn't taking up forward positions in games where he had a really challenging right winger. So, that's technically, we could adapt to that.
I mean, I did say when you'd gone off screen that when he played in the back 4, he did have Verratti in front of him. He was a fantastic defensive midfield player. Will he have that luxury at Newcastle United to have someone just...
Bruno and Tonali and Joe Linton. Joe Linton's left-sided cover is phenomenal. It was when he had to help sort of target out the season before last.
Them birds are freaking me out. I just see it tweeting in my ears. It's weird. Anyway, Dimitrov says, hello, guys. What do you think? Are we going to focus on Champions League, Premier League, Carabao, or FA Cup? What do you reckon, Jack?
Just take it every match by match. But there's no good talking about that just yet because just take it match by match. Premier League we'll obviously focus on where we finish. But Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and Champions League, we'll just take that. Like, Eddie Howe. He focuses on the next match. And once that match is finished, then he'll focus on the next match. Just take it match by match and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Charles says there that it's not really, his name's not, I'd love to know what some people's real names are. I mean, that's not Charles Habsburg II of Spain. He says, to be fair, he has played more as a left midfielder for Inter than as a fullback. So that would explain.
Left wing back, isn't it?
Look, I don't agree with that. I'm gonna pull up what positions he's played. As a left wing back, 43 appearances. Yeah, I guess he's done a bit of both: left midfield, centre back, left back.
So that comment was quite
a bit of a blend.
I think that comment was correct, Alex. If you ask me.
Yeah, I still disagree that it's left mid.
Well, there's a bloody surprise, isn't it? I mean,
but when you have 4 across the midfield, it's not strictly speaking a left midfielder, is it? Like, when we played 5 at the back, were we calling Matt Ritchie a left mid?
No.
When we played 4, it's not how that works.
I mean, we've had a lot of Jesus Christ references tonight, but we've got the Golden God in as well. Can we stop pretending Burn is a good left back, please?
I don't think we ever have. I think he was just a stopgap, and he did a great job at it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't think he's not a left back.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
And he's good at half of the left back position, but not the other half that maybe we could do with kicking on, which is just, adding 3 or 4 goals and being a bit more progressive. Could just do with a bit of extra, really.
Swankzilla says, I reckon Joe Linton could play as a progressive left back if we got someone better in midfield. Then goes on to say, but I'm probably mental.
You're probably right.
Give him 5 years of being goal for us.
Yeah. Steve Gator says, signing Hernandez would be outrageous. Milan fans will riot at their club for being our feeder club and beating them to Botman. They're going to hate us.
You've got to remember then, previous owner passed away last week, didn't he?
He did.
Berlusconi.
Yeah, he did.
And all the times they had, great times, were under his ownership. So
yeah,
they weren't very happy at the minute.
And now the new boys have just come and said, right, we'll sell everybody. Let's make some money on all these players. Alex, are you ready with your final player of the evening?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, they're also extra upset because obviously Ibrahimovic is also retired, and then Tonali's going. There's everything's all hit at once for the AC Milan fans. It's funny.
Well, may as well go for Giroud for a season as well. Just may as well. I mean, I've mentioned that before. Exactly. Joe Willock's number one fan says Willock should play wing back. Let's not put square pegs in round holes here, people. Let's just get the players in who play that position. We can do that. Cameron says, remember, a lot of our defensive qualities don't just come from individual talent, but also Eddie's coaching and tactics. We simply need someone a level or two above Dan Burn. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, nail on the head.
Yeah. Stop talking about nails, Billy. You've done enough damage with that. Right. Our final player of the evening is Federico Chiesa.
Yeah. I'm shocked that we've suddenly dropped this much money on, well, it's not finalized yet, but it looks like it's 90% of the way confirmed on Tonali, and then immediately been linked to two very, very expensive left backs and Federico Chiesa. So 3 players within Italy that just sort of the rumors have just dropped instantly as soon as we've sort of made any progress with Tonali. It's bizarre. But he is a player I didn't expect us to be reviewing this window. So a left winger, right-footed left winger predominantly, but he's talented. He's one of those players that's talented enough to play in a lot of offensive roles, in my opinion. I think he could do a job. 5'9", if we're rounding up. Again, every player tonight has been sort of 25 and a half years old-ish. They're all in that age bracket, and we know we like to shop in that sort of age profile, whether it's 23 or 25. We're trying to bring the average age down with the squad. Little bit more pricey, this one. Although his contract is a year shorter than the other two, so 2 years remaining, he's on, well, it's Juventus, and they spent all their cheese, and they're being punished for it with points deductions because they're a bit silly. Of course, we talked about this last week with one of the board of directors literally having a black book of illegal finances that got raided, and they found it. It's all gone wrong at Juventus. They've been very naughty. So they will have to offload someone for some finances. In swoops us, potentially, if there's any truth in this. We do have quite an abundance of wingers we need to shift, whether it's Ryan Fraser. Potentially, there is obviously the rumours about Maxi going out to facilitate sort of a bigger move in. So maybe there's some legs in this. But he's on a lot of wages. I think he's probably going to be our highest earner if we bring him in. I can't see him taking a pay cut.
No. Not a 25-year-old. He won't. No way.
I'm not sure how this gets structured so it works. I just don't know. Unless it's with upfront bonuses and then we bring his salary. I don't know. The wages are a bit prohibitive here. So this season, he's had a few issues. I believe he's been injured. So 800 minutes, 2 goals, 5 assists. 1 goal and 1 assist in the Europa League. He's played 17 Champions League minutes as well, so not a lot. Obviously, Juventus have been having a bit of a shocker at the moment. Well, not too bad when you factor in their points deduction. But this just kind of proves the caliber of player he is. So the data is from nearly 1,300 minutes. It includes his Serie A performances and his Champions League Europa League minutes. And his comparisons are spitting out Kvaratskhelia, Bukayo Saka, Mr. Chucky himself, Irving Lozano, Ousmane Dembele, Nico Williams, Adi. I mean, a big list. Very, very impressive list here. And well done, Ben Rama being on this list. So very, very impressive here. And then the metrics back it up. Progressive carries are through the roof, 85th percentile, and he's very successful when he does them as well. When he takes players on, whilst he's doing his carries, he's beating them a lot of the time. Not so much involved in the passing, but he's just below average in those sort of metrics, but he's not involved in doing that, so it's fine. High work rate here, high tackle statistic, high block statistic is very, very useful. Really, really, really high volume of shots here at 2.62 is lovely. High assists per 90 with 0.42, so he's pretty much getting an assist every second game based on these statistics. Shot creating actions is well above average as well at 4.1. He's a top player. You can see that based on who he's compared with and how he's spiking. Career to date, Fiorentina to Juventus. his career's been somewhat stop-start. I think he's been one of these players that, along with a few quite promising young Italians offensively, have had quite a lot of injuries. But he's, in the seasons he's been able to play, he's been excellent. Obviously, a lot of appearances for Fiorentina, and you could see the progression here statistically. His best season here for Juventus was his first season, 2,200 minutes with 16 goal contribution return there. And then it's been a little bit stop-start for him, unfortunately. I'll tell you what, instead of looking at his SOFA score, I think it's probably best we go and have a look at those injuries. I think that's a bit more important. It is worth noting 41 caps for Italy with 4 goals. That is pedigree right there. Where do we need to look? Injury history. Let's go and have a look at this.
I think he had a problem with.
It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. It could have just been a bit of. I've not really been following Juventus much this season, apart from financially, because it's been funny. 22-23. So a month on fitness, which cost him. He lost his 6 games. He missed knee, muscle fatigue. So it was 2 weeks, a week, 3 days. Knee problems was 5 days. Tendon irritation. So he's had quite a lot of niggles, to be fair, this season. And he's missed, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It was 14 games he's missed this season. And then he had his ACL in the 21-22 season, which pretty much shot him. Well, he missed 36 matches the entirety of the season. So he's had his issues. But again, he's fit now. He's playing well. He's peak age.
Yeah,
I think he'd be really good. It's just a question of, wage. Are the wages an issue? Could we sort that out? Juventus might sell. I think they need to sort their finances out. We could probably do with him in, left winger, have a little upgrade. He's his tackles, his defensive work rate's quite tidy. He's a top player. It's just a case of keeping him fit and affording him and putting him in the squad. I'd love it if he came. I think it'd be amazing.
Jan, I think you're being a bit harsh with a has-been. I mean, he's 25-year-old. Please tell me
you're not talking about Chiesa. He must mean his dad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Crazy. Look. I mean, at the end of the day, this guy would be brilliant for us. Absolutely brilliant. He's a very, very talented footballer. Those of you that have seen him play will actually probably understand that. I mean, Billy, what do you reckon?
No, he's world-class player on his day. He's had a couple of pretty fallow years after his injury and stuff and Juventus' problems. But if we get hold of him and get him firing, good Lord, he's going to be a star for us. I would like to see him get more goals. I think his goal record ain't as good as it could have been because he is quite a good finisher, to be fair to him, a really good finisher when he gets through. Yeah. But he'd improve our left side. No end. He's a fantastic player. He really is.
Faramir, it makes an interesting point that Juventus are apparently negotiating a voluntary withdrawal from the Conference League as a way to settle with UEFA. I mean, they'll do anything, won't they? I mean, but they will probably end up. I mean, this is the second time Juventus, in a very short space of time, have been involved in utter bollocks. They are a very naughty football club, and was I right to say they've been relegated because of it before? I'm sure they have.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, look, another infringement of the rules.
Well, it's two. They won an appeal. Well, they lost an appeal. It got changed. So they originally got docked 15 points, and then they all celebrated, and then they just changed it to 10 instead of 15, and then they all went, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Toon Boy says, what do you think of Joby going to Sunderland? I couldn't give a monkey's fat ass about that. Jack, what do you think about Chiesa?
No. Right.
The timing, impeccable.
Yeah, meanwhile, I've always liked Chiesa since the Euros.
He's gonna have to put it like he's gonna have to lock that to get a lock on that door, isn't he? I mean, anyone just sort of
just go to B&Q and just buy one of those little things. Honestly, it's like a £5.
Yeah, I dreaded playing him in the final when England played Italy in the final Euros. He was brilliant. I mean, I had to force a few good saves from Pickford, but I've always liked Chiesa. The wage is a bit hefty. We don't like Alex.
You just said good saves and Pickford in the same sentence. Sorry, Jack. Carry on.
He got away with
Well,
it.
for England, he did. Let's be honest. You know,
I know, but I
it
don't
is
like
true.
admitting it because he's Jordan Henderson.
Okay, moving on.
Well, he's not Jordan Henderson. He's Jordan Pickford, Alex. Never
Jordan
mind.
Pickford. I mean, they're both Mackham.
dear
Same
me.
player, same person. They shouldn't be wearing England jerseys anymore.
Jack, will you just tell us how you feel on Chiesa, please?
I like Chiesa. Brilliant player. He, like Billy said, he would definitely improve our squad. No end. It would be absolutely brilliant and will cause defenders a lot of problems. And a lot of these players from the Serie A league will really, I think they'll cope well in the Premier League. I'm excited to see what Tonali will do. And Chiesa coming over to the Premier League will be a right statement. As if Tonali wasn't a big statement, but this one will be a proper statement. And I'd love Chiesa.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the chat thought you didn't want him, Jack, because when I said, what do you think of Chiesa, you just screamed no at the top of your voice. Those of you that are obviously listening later on in the podcast, Jack was talking to somebody that tried to enter a studio, not saying no to Chiesa. I just need to make that perfectly...
yes to Chiesa.
There you go. So anybody listening on the podcast later on, by the way, just to plug that, it is on iTunes and Spotify and all of the good podcast providers round about half an hour after the show ends live. Right. Yes, we're going to do a little message from somebody that hasn't said a lot the last few days. Those of you that are new to our channel, this is our channel mascot, Daisy the cow. We have to have Daisy on the wrecking ball tonight, simply celebrating the signing of course, Sandro Tonali.
Especially,
lots of,
especially if you're just going on about Chiesa.
Yeah. Well, Billy, one thing we're not going to do is put Daisy on a cross.
No,
okay?
Absolutely not. But Chiesa, it is cheese. I think it means cheese, doesn't it?
I've no idea, Billy. I have no idea.
Lots of cheese.
Really?
That makes sense. That sounds so bad. I didn't even mean that one.
Stop saying Christ as well, for God's sake. I mean, haven't we done enough damage to the good Lord tonight?
Heavens above.
Dear me. Anyway, guys, that is it for our transfer show tonight. It's been a bit of a wild ride for a Friday night. Billy has been on brilliant form as per usual. Alex has been very detailed in his statistics. I've managed to pronounce most names right tonight, and Jack has once again shouted at somebody. So, Jack, I get it. When you come off the live shows that you storm out that door immediately and punch someone in the middle of the face.
Oh, I think punch is a bit... but I definitely have a stern word with them. And tell them not to do it again, but they continue to do it, but can't win.
Roger says, Paul, have you made your microphone look like an Italian bottle of wine for tonight? No, I've just changed it back over to the HyperX. I like the sound from it, to be honest. I can hear what's going on in my ears more clearly. It's not the same as the one I sent to Alex that was sort of multicolored and he broke it. But God rest its soul. But it's a good microphone. It's a good microphone. I want to get the Shure one because I did have it and it was an immense microphone, but I broke that one.
Yes,
so
M7B.
Yeah, it's a really good microphone, and I did have it and I broke it trying to unscrew it when I moved into this. Oh, who gives a shit anyway? I want a new one. But that is it for the transfer show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Over 1,100. Honestly, you blow us away with the viewing figures every time we do a show. It is incredible. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. Thank you for the new members and, of course, the super chatters. We really, really do appreciate that. We will be back over the weekend. We've got some shows planned. Alex is doing a very nice one on our new signing. So we've got that to come as well. So thank you very much. Mod Squad, you've been amazing as usual. Thank you to Alex, Billy, and Jack. And we will see you very, very soon, guys. But in the meantime, have a blast of a weekend. See you soon. Good night.
How are the lads?
How are the brethren and bretheresses?
Come back and check out some green.